Coming up this week, I'm going to be doing the Run Bournemouth Supersonic 10K 2021, and I'm excited. This is my excited face. So the event is taking place in Bournemouth, that's why it's called Run Bournemouth. Now, in case you don't know, Bournemouth is on the south coast of England. Basically, you head down the M3, and when you get to Southampton, you turn right. That's basically it. If your feet get wet and you hear people speaking French, you've gone a bit too far, so turn round, swerve around the Isle of Wight, and you'll be there. So the event was last held in 2019. It wasn't held in 2020. I wonder why that was. And it's of course a very different thing. It's a totally different setup to how it was in 2019. Understandably, the start and finish lines were right next to each other in 2019, but in 2021 they're about 5 miles apart actually. The bottles of water they're going to be dishing out, the bottles will be on a table. You have to run over and collect them yourself. They won't be handed to you. It's all kind of COVID secure stuff. You've got to have a face mask. I've got one in my bag here. You've got to wear that face mask in the start area where you obviously you can't really keep away from people so much there. There's really nothing for spectators this year. They have encouraged spectators not to come actually, and there's sort of no tented area, no tented village and entertainments and stuff going on. So it's a very different thing to how it was held before, but that's kind of understandable. And you've got to make these allowances as you kind of prepare to take these events in the world the way it is now. So I've got no complaints about it. It is what it is, and it's just great that we can actually have an event. So let's look on the positives. Now for me personally, this is also very different to when I last took this event when it last happened in 2019. In 2019, it was the first time I'd ever run 10K. I'd never been beyond 8K, and I was just coming back from an injury, so I hadn't done that many long distances at that stage anyway. Also, it was strangely the very first time I'd ever run with other people, which is bizarre. It's a crazy thing to think about, but that's just, I was so new at this thing. And also, and I don't mind admitting this, it was actually quite an emotional thing for me, because I'd been told from a young age that I would never amount to anything in the sporting arena. And to be honest, that's kind of true. I have no natural sporting ability whatsoever, but that doesn't mean you can't do something. You can't work up to your own abilities. So I was able to prove the naysayers wrong. I was able to prove that I can actually do this stuff, and you can do what you can do, basically, and there's no need to kind of hold back. And that was, for me, that was actually, you know, a big moment in my life, and I was pleased to share it with you on this channel. If I remember, I'll put a link to that video in the video description below. I often forget, so perhaps I won't. For me as well, this year it's kind of different because I've run lots of 10Ks since last time. I'm kind of a regular runner now. I feel different. I kind of feel like I know what I'm doing to a certain extent, and so the challenge is very different. So while last time it was just kind of, will I actually even make it to the end, because I'd never gone that distance before, I had no idea. This time I know I can do it. It's just a question of how well I can do it. It's completely different. In fact, last time they set up these different pens. The elite runners, they're really good people, they're up the front. Not many of them, but they're up the front. Then you kind of have other areas, and I was right at the back last time in 2019, right in the last area, which is just as it should be. But this time I'm in the middle. I've got like a yellow beard. My beard, look, I've got a yellow number on. In yellow is in the middle. So that puts it, that comes with its own sort of pressures, doesn't it? Their own sort of pressures that I don't want to finish last, do I? If I'm in the yellow section, I'm kind of saying, oh, I'm not completely rubbish, so I ought to be kind of up there or thereabouts. So, oh, yeah, there we are. So that came as a bit of a surprise. You have to estimate your time. Last time I had no idea, having never run that distance, so I put 1 hour 15. This time I put 55 minutes, which I think is kind of going to be going it some, but you know, we'll see. Under an hour and I'll be well chuffed, but I'm not kind of overthinking it. Just kind of getting ready. So I've got to mooch about a bit now. You have to get here quite early. I don't want to get cold. Obviously that would be a really bad thing. So I'm going to move about, might do a little bit of sort of light jogging, just gradually build my temperature up slowly, because I really don't want to get cold. So yeah, so let's do that and let's get ready for the Run Bournemouth Supersonic 10K 2021.
Andy Clayton.
Well, there we go. Run complete. And there was because the route was different to 2019, there was quite an uphill bit for about the first kilometre, maybe just after, maybe between kilometre 1 and kilometre 2. But then after that, there was, of course, a bit go downhill, so it wasn't too bad. And I kept up quite a good pace. I don't think that I've beaten my personal best, but I'm going to have a look at that in a moment. So let's put the times up on the screen so you can kind of see how I did. And I think it was about 57 and a half, something like that. So that means that I've gone probably about half a minute or something over my personal best. But to be honest with you, beating an hour was always going to be the goal for this one, really. And I'm absolutely chuffed to bits that I've done that. My best 10K time actually for quite a while. So that's really good. very different emotions actually to the last time that I did the event. It's good to have got a really good time, which I'm really pleased about, because last time I'd never even run 10k before. This time I can actually sort of know that I was going to finish it and just enjoy the whole experience. So it's been really good. I've really enjoyed it. So now I've got to think, what do I do next? I have got thoughts about that, and I'm going to talk about that a bit more in next week's video, because I'm going to be talking about the highs and the lows of being a runner. It's confusing. It messes with your head. We'll be covering that next week. So thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, don't be sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. You're very welcome. And I'll see you for another video next week.